Chapter 41. I have a lot of people behind me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The blood-soaked evil spirit sneered, sharp barbs sprouting from its tentacles. Oh, really? It said coldly. Lin replied calmly, first off, I'm a caring doctor. I've also got a lot of caring patients and customers. If I disappear and they can't find me, they're going to be bummed. Like those two bald guys outside beating the crap out of each other. They're loyal customers and friends. The blood-soaked evil spirit narrowed its eyes, sneering. Really? You mean the demon hunter and the black knight? You think I'm going to buy that? It didn't get to finish, click star, the sound of a safety being switched off. Lin slowly pulled a silver revolver from his coat, raised it with a smile, and pointed it at the ceiling. Recognize this, right? The blood-soaked evil spirit was startled, its eyes narrowing. That Witcher revolver? It knew that sleazy demon hunter well. He always kept those two demon hunting revolvers he brought from the world above with him, and cherished them like crazy. How could this guy have it? Lin held up the gun, still smiling. He's a buddy of mine, a real swell guy. He left this for me for self-defense. Said if I'm ever in trouble, just fire, and he'll be here in a heartbeat. And he's right outside. Won't take him long. Achoo, star, outside the alley, a certain bald man sneezed violently. The blood-soaked evil spirit narrowed its eyes, a fierce glint flashing within. Lin holstered the gun, still smiling, and then produced a thin, curly hair from his pocket. What's this? The blood-soaked evil spirit asked coldly. Lin's lips curved slightly. A little memento my buddy Black Knight left me. Said it's the longest, curliest chest hair he's got. He said as long as I flick it, he'll sense it and come running. Don't believe me? We can try it. The blood-soaked evil spirit looked dumbfounded. Chest hair. Lin adjusted his monocle, a calm smile on his face. That's right. You should feel his aura on it. Black Knight came to see me today, wanted a haircut. He left me this, too, said I looked like I was hexed. Guess he was right. The blood-soaked evil spirit gaped. For a moment, it couldn't find the words to argue. And if you know him, you know he's super vain. If someone dared to shave his head, he'd definitely go after them. Lin's smile widened. Think about it. Why am I still in one piece? Can't you tell we're practically family? Achoo, star, another bald man outside the alley sneezed, looking equally confused. The blood-soaked evil spirit's face was etched with shock, its eyes darted around wildly, indecision creeping in, because what Lin was saying made a disturbing kind of sense. It had fought that lunatic before. The Black Knight was as vain as the demon hunter. How could someone that vain let somebody shave his head and not retaliate? And then, in a flash, its mind raced back to the long, messy hair the boy had given the scavenger not long ago. Could it be? The blood-soaked evil spirit grew serious. Clearly, there was a reason this kid could run a shop in this monster-infested world. No wonder he was so confident, but... That's not right. It said, voice dark. Don't lie to me. I know they've been enemies for centuries. If you were such good friends, why do they try to kill each other every time they meet? Lin's lips curved slightly. Lady, you blind? Can't you see? Lin narrowed his eyes, voice dropping. They're just playing hard to get. Achoo, star. Achoo, star. Outside the alley, the Witcher and the Black Knight sneezed simultaneously. The Witcher instantly pointed at the Black Knight. That's it. I knew you were talking smack about me. You're going down. The Black Knight gritted his teeth, glaring at the demon hunter. Don't give me that crap. You're the one bad-mouthing me. I'm gonna rearrange your face. In an instant, the two bald men were at it again. Back in the room, the blood-soaked evil spirit frowned, staring at Lin, hesitant to act, even though it felt like he was full of it. The chest hair and the revolver did suggest he had some connection to those two. Lin smiled slightly, rested his elbows on the table, propped up his chin, and said calmly, forget those two. What about my teacher? You ask around, you'll find out he's a wandering soul alley legend. You think he'd let anything happen to his best apprentice and heir, that he loosened his collar. And then there's Grandma over in Wandering Soul Alley. She loves me like a grandson. I'm going to take care of her until she kicks the bucket. If her sweet, filial grandson died, she'd be devastated. Eloquence +1, eloquence +1, eloquence +1. The blood-soaked evil spirit gritted its teeth, glaring at Lin as he spun his increasingly elaborate yarn. It just had the urge to beat him to death. Oh, and one more thing. Lin changed the subject, smiling slightly, and produced a small piece of crystal-clear white jade-like material from his pocket. See this? The blood-soaked evil spirit's eyes instantly locked on the fragment in his hand. Its expression shifted. It felt an indescribable, primal aura emanating from the small white object. This is... Lin's lips curved. Too bad, lady. You know the Abyss Headhunter, right? The blood-soaked evil spirit recoiled, taking a step back almost instinctively. Its eyes were glued to Lin, Abyss Headhunter. As a creature of the dark world, it knew them all too well, terrifying, primal monsters that roamed the dark world, devouring countless creatures in their wake, entities even king-level dark lords avoided. And, unfortunately, just yesterday, the Abyss Headhunters had wiped out dark creature gatherings near Wandering Soul Alley. It had only just escaped one of them last night. Could it be? Lin adjusted his monocle with a smile. Seems you do. Then guess what? All those creatures around Wandering Soul Alley died. Why did Wandering Soul Alley escape? Chapter 42 Continuous Strategy. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The blood-clothed evil spirit stared at the white jade-like thing in her hand, shocked. No way. This is impossible. Lin En stood up with a faint smile. Turns out I'm the headhunter's favorite personal dentist. She popped in last night for a checkup. Now she's an honorary member, super supportive of my business. He. The blood-clothed evil spirit's brain short-circuited, her mind went blank. She might be wary of the people he mentioned, but she wasn't really afraid of anyone when push came to shove. After all, the dark world wasn't exactly overflowing with the faint of heart, but a root-level monster. That was a different story. Crossing one of those meant they could track you down, even if you holed up in the upper world. Once, a king-level lord in the dark world ticked off a root-level monster. In a single day, everything in his territory was wiped out, and he ended up a pariah, no one daring to take him in. The root-level monster hunted him to death. And she never would have guessed, this seemingly harmless kid had that kind of connection. Lin En, seeing her face pale, smiled and hugged the baby. Lady, never judge a book by its cover. Sure, I'm not exactly a powerhouse, but a good network is a strength of its own. And there's no need to be mad at me. Lin En stood up, patting one of her tentacles with a disappointed look. We're neighbors, after all. Shouldn't neighbors look out for each other, help each other, and keep each other warm? Besides, you're a beautiful, mature woman. Eloquence +1, eloquence +1. The blood-clothed evil spirit's eyes flickered, and she gritted her teeth. She knew he was playing both sides, sweet-talking her after pulling a fast one, and it was working. She really couldn't risk it now, regardless of whether he was bluffing. She had to take that dental stone with the root-level aura seriously. If it was legit, she just stirred up a hornet's nest. But, plate. She wanted to strangle this kid. Arg, that she screamed, her tentacles thrashing against the walls, a frantic outlet for her anger. Then, panting, she sat on the floor, grinding her teeth loud enough to make your own ache. Having all this anger with nowhere to go really got under her skin. Easy there, lady. Lin En calmly held the baby. About what I said earlier, I'd say about 70% of it was true. Sure, truth, goodness, and beauty is a load of crap, but I do see qualities in you that other evil spirits lack. The blood-clothed evil spirit snapped. Don't even think about trying to fool me again. You little punk. She swore she didn't believe a word he said. If she hadn't seen through him, she'd have snuffed him out already. Lin En took a deep breath, his smile steady. I'm not lying, ma'am. You gotta admit this. You have an eye for beauty, right? The blood-clothed evil spirit froze. Lin En stood, cradling the baby, and looked around with a grin. This place is beautiful, nothing like those cold, gross rooms down below. You've clearly put a lot of care into this bedroom. The walls, the bed, the furniture, it all feels fresh. No other evil spirit would bother with that. Then he turned, gazing softly at the white flower in a simple vase on the windowsill. I've seen these before. Rare, non-toxic night lilies from the dark world. Not exactly rare, but how many evil spirits do you think have those in their rooms? And you've got it thriving, too. On the windowsill, the pure white flower shimmered slightly, gorgeous and alluring. Lin En, / strategy progress plus 50%, the blood-clothed evil spirit stared at the flower, then jolted and pointed at Lin En, snarling. Don't get cute. It's just. Enough about that. Lin En's mouth curved into a smile as he held the baby. I gotta ask, if you really think your kid's current look is so repulsive, then what's up with the cute dress and vest she's wearing? The blood-clothed evil spirit immediately averted her gaze, stammering. That's just cause. The pink dress on the baby in the mirror looked especially sweet, a sharp contrast to the filthy, hideous world outside, and you could see it was spotless. The seams were still fresh. Clearly, it had been sewn recently. Lin En said, okay. No need to deny it, I've cracked the code. You think your baby's cute, and you must be showering her with kisses when you're alone, right? The blood-clothed evil spirit's face flushed crimson, and she sputtered. I don't. You're making things up. Stop guessing. Lin En, *for all, = 3 said, what's the big deal? It's a perfectly normal, loving thing for a mom to do for her daughter. And you put her in such pretty clothes, so you must be happy with how she looks now. Yada the baby, wiggled her hands and feet. The blood-clothed evil spirit blushed, speechless, but she had to admit it, the kid was right. Compared to her previous twisted, broken children, she did prefer this relatively normal, cute baby. Still, it stung to hear him say it. Lin En said gently, with a kind expression. Lady, I've always believed that someone who appreciates beauty must have a beautiful heart. It shows you're fundamentally different from other evil spirits. And I bet that even in the human world, you would have been a very lovable girl. Listening to Lin En's increasingly soothing voice, she kept repeating to herself that she shouldn't believe a word this kid said, but somehow, her heart was pounding. She bit her lip, her eyes darting around, but she couldn't shake Lin En's words. They resonated with her on a deeper level. As a will that had died in the human world and been reborn in this dark realm, she'd been trying to adapt to this dark existence. But she couldn't forget her past life. She wondered. What if she hadn't died? If she were still the girl she used to be, would she have grandkids by now? Would she have watched her daughter grow up, get married, and have her own kids? But every time she saw her grotesque reflection in the mirror, that horrifying image reminded her, **you're dead, **, you're just a twisted evil spirit now, **, a demon, **, ding. Trigger task, resolve the grudge of the blood-clothed evil spirit, current progress, 11%, first stage task rewards, 500 skull coins, 500 basic experience, special reward X1. Chapter 43 The curse has been removed by me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A system alert pinged in Lin's head. Lin instantly felt a wave of calm. He glanced at the blood-soaked evil spirit, clearly out cold on the floor. He could practically feel it. His words had chipped away at her defenses. All he needed was a solid opening, and he could defuse her hostility for good. Lin's mind raced, trying to work out a solution. Finally, Lin's eyes locked onto her face, riddled with cracks and spitting out tiny tentacles. An idea sparked in Lin's mind. That's it. That had to be the key. For an evil spirit so obsessed with beauty, the best way to break through was to free her from her monstrous form. All right then. This was too good an opportunity to pass up. He'd figure it out as he went. Lin snapped back to attention, adjusted his monocle, and said softly, "Madam, I suspect you're not exactly thrilled with your current appearance, am I right? If you're willing, I might just be able to make you truly human." Buzz, his words detonated in the evil spirit's mind like a thunderclap. She snapped her head up, staring at Lin, completely stunned. For a split second, her eyes froze, but she quickly regained her composure, sneering, "You? Don't flatter yourself. Just because you fixed up my daughter doesn't mean you're some kind of miracle worker. That's because my daughter's still just a baby, and the curse hasn't fully taken hold. You haven't seen the true face of an evil spirit yet." Then, crack crack crack, accompanied by the sickening sound of twisting bones and flesh, her body began to crack and swell, her once graceful form sprouting festering limbs that oozed sticky, foul-smelling pus. Right before Lin's eyes, the blood-soaked evil spirit warped and expanded into an indescribable monstrosity. Countless faces erupted across her body. Each one twisted in a grotesque expression. It looked like a mountain of corpses had been fed into a meat grinder, then stitched back together into a horrifying mass. The ears of Lin filled with the chorus of countless malicious whispers. "This is my true form." Feeling so confident now, drip, drip, drops of vile-smelling slime splattered onto the floor. The long, snake-like neck jutted out, with the woman's head hovering in front of Lin, sneering maliciously. Wawa, the baby in Lin's arms, was so frightened, she started to cry. SAN value -10. SAN value -10. Lin stared blankly at the indescribable monster, speechless. The evil spirit sneered, "Curse, pain, resentment, that's what made me this way. You really think you can fix that with your little scalpel?" Her mocking, frigid voice echoed in Lin's ears. "Threat level 80%. Threat level 99%. Warning. Warning. Target's risk level is approaching 100%, but this time, Lin quickly regained his composure, showing no sign of panic. He focused on a key word in her last statement, curse. If that's what made her become what she is, I have a solution. Lin said calmly. The evil spirit looked shocked. Lin stared intently, reaching out and touching her snake-like neck. Almost instantly, he activated his curse diagnosis ability, bite. Diagnosing target curse. Bite. Target curse diagnosis complete. Curse of evil spirits, formed by the aggregation of countless resentments after the death of living beings. The more resentment and living beings swallowed by the target, the more intense the curse will be, and the more distorted the target's form will become. This is an extremely high-level curse. The moment the diagnosis came through, Lin snapped his head up and said, "Activate the limited-time curse removal ability, bite." The limited-time curse removal ability has been applied to Demon Hunting Revolver. Do you want to switch the target? Yes. Buzz. In that instant, the evil spirit's eyes widened in utter shock. She saw Lin's hand on her neck radiating blinding light. The light, like gentle threads, poured into her body, and she immediately felt the curse within her slowly peeling away under its power. This. She was stunned, a look of absolute disbelief on her face, and before her very eyes, countless twisted black strands shrieked as they were ripped from her body, bit by bit, by the light. Her pupils dilated, she felt emptied, she could feel the curse lifting, the pain and distortion gradually fading. Ah! She threw her head back and howled in agony. Then, her broken, twisted body began to melt away in the light, revealing a slender, pale form amidst the blood and gore on the ground. Ding! The curse was successfully extracted, and the limited-time curse removal ability has entered cooldown. Current cooldown time, 12 hours. Ding! Curse removal experience +1. Ding! Curse removal experience +1. Whoosh! The light slowly faded, revealing a dark, grotesque rune on Lin's palm, the evil spirit curse he had cleansed and collected. As the light vanished, Lin's eyes settled on the pale body lying in the pool of rancid blood. Her long, flowing hair cascaded around her, an ethereal beauty. The curse has been temporarily removed by me. Lin smiled, his expression calm. On the floor, the blood-soaked evil spirit remained paralyzed, dazed. She slowly pushed herself up, her slender hands trembling as she stared at her reflection in the mirror. Her mind went blank. This is impossible. She muttered to herself, reaching out a shaking hand to touch her cheek. She could feel it. This was her body, not some disguise made of flesh and blood. This was her true self, and the emptiness within, the evil spirit curse that had tormented her for centuries, felt like a nightmare that had never truly existed, gone. "What did you do to me just now?" she whispered, as if she were trapped in a dream. Lin smiled, cradling the baby, and said, "I told you, I helped you remove the evil spirit curse." "You still think I'm lying, madam?" Lin was feeling on top of the world. The blood-stained evil spirit stared blankly at her reflection. The perfect form made her feel like she'd awoken from a horrific nightmare. You really?" She finally rose from the ground in disbelief. The evil spirit curse, there for centuries, had really been removed by the human boy, so easily. Chapter 44. How much do you think I am worth? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ugh, ugh. She gripped her hair, eyes squeezed shut, letting out a series of almost uncontrollable, excited squeals. She was losing it. She couldn't even find the words to describe how excited and messed up she felt. Lin En just stood there, staring at the woman who suddenly looked like she was having a seizure. "System, is the curse really gone?" "Gone. Then why does she seem crazier than before?" Finally, after a long, rambling scream fest, the blood-clothed spirit seemed to snap out of it. She slumped to the floor, covered her face, and mumbled, "I'm sorry, could you give me a minute? Let me calm down. I'm a little overwhelmed." Lin En nodded, understanding perfectly. He quickly scooped up the cute baby, pushed open the door, and got the heck out of there. Once he was gone, the blood-clothed spirit just sat there on the floor, staring blankly at her own reflection in the mirror. Ding. You have completed the first stage of the task, the grudge of the blood-clothed spirit. Reward, 500 skull coins, 500 basic experience, and special reward, evil soul lamp x1. Ding. The blood-clothed spirit's favorability towards you +10. Ding. The blood-clothed spirit's favorability towards you +10. Downstairs at the table, Lin En was a nervous wreck, cradling the baby in his arms. His scalp was crawling. He'd been waiting for almost half an hour, and ever since the task completed, every minute, he got a notification, favorability +10, a few minutes ago, it had blown past 300. He had no idea what kind of changes were happening upstairs, but with that much favorability, he should be safe for the night, right? "She's not going to kill me now, is she?" Lin En thought. It had been a wild ride, but things were definitely heading in the right direction, and as soon as his teacher got back tomorrow, he wouldn't have to be so stressed. His teacher was seriously powerful. Just then, a white hand slowly opened the door. A sweet, charming voice drifted out. "Sorry to keep you waiting." Lin En looked up instantly, bathed in the dim candlelight. The woman in the red dress, her hair still in soft waves, stepped out. Her cheeks were flushed with a mature woman's glow. Lin En gave her a mental thumbs up. Without the curse, she was more beautiful and real. Under his gaze, the blood-clothed spirit sat down opposite him, her face still a little pink. Gone was the sarcastic, mean face. Now, she looked like the kind, beautiful young woman next door. "I'm sorry." She lowered her head, covering her burning cheeks, and said, her voice slightly flustered, "I'm so sorry for how I acted before. I was so mean to you. I'm mortified." It was like dealing with a completely different person. Lin En's brain short-circuited. It's okay, Lin En said, clearing his throat. "We're neighbors, right? Neighbors should get along and understand each other." Ding. The blood-clothed spirit's favorability towards you +20. Ding. The blood-clothed spirit's favorability towards you +20. Oh, the blood-clothed spirit's cheeks turned even redder. "Even if you say that, I still feel terrible. And I never thought you could actually lift the curse from me." Lin En held up a finger, serious. "I only helped you remove the curse temporarily. You need to understand, it's not permanent. It only lasts about 24 hours. After that, you'll revert to your original state." He had to make that clear. As a doctor, integrity was key. More importantly, if he didn't explain, she'd change back after a day and think he'd tricked her. Then he'd really be in trouble. The blood-clothed spirit looked startled. Only 24 hours, that she'd forgotten what it felt like to be free from the curse. This half-hour had been amazing. The thought of going back to how she was for centuries made her shudder. Lin En nodded gravely, but seeing the disappointment on her face, he quickly added, "But I can remove it again every 12 hours, so it's not really permanent either." "Really?" Her eyes lit up. Ding. The blood-clothed spirit's favorability towards you +20. Ding. The blood-clothed spirit's favorability towards you +20. That's right. Lin En gave a small smile and a thumbs up. We're neighbors, living right next to each other. If you want to stay like this, all you have to do is come see me for treatment every day. And as a neighbor, I'll give you a 20% discount. That this was perfect. He could just use his limited-time curse removal ability, which would not only keep him safe but also give him a steady customer and a guaranteed income. It was a win-win. He was a genius. 20% off. The blood-clothed spirit rested her chin on her hand, looking at Lin En with a smile. Do I still need to pay? Lin En rubbed his shoulders, put on a weak smile, and said, Madam, honestly, you might think removing a curse is easy, but it's really draining. As your neighbor, I could waive a few payments. But I'll still need to charge something eventually. I have a business to run here. Did she think she was getting a free pass? No way. The blood-clothed spirit smiled. What's the price? What kind of compensation are you looking for? Lin En thought for a moment, then held up a finger. 1,000 skull coins per session. With the 20% discount, how about 800? It's a great price, right? A high-level spirit like her definitely had money. Even that Black Knight demon hunter used black skull coins, and he seemed pretty well off, but he didn't want to overcharge. This was a long-term business. It was better to play it safe, but then, the blood-clothed spirit shook her head, twirling a lock of hair around her finger. I don't have any money. Lin En blinked. Ma'am, you're kidding me, Lin En said, trying to laugh. How can someone as powerful as you not have money? Don't lie to me. The blood-clothed spirit rested her chin on her hand, smiling. I really don't. Whenever I wanted something in the past, I just ate the person who had it. It was simpler, so there was no need to trade. Hence, no money. Lin En's hair stood on end. No way. The favorability couldn't be that high, could it? Was she going to eat him now? Sweat trickled down Lin En's forehead. If you don't have money, then other things might work. As long as the price is right, anything can be traded. Really? The blood-clothed spirit raised her eyebrows. Lin En crossed his arms, closed his eyes, and said, Really? Body parts, herbs, cursed objects, corpses. I'll sell them all for the right price, as long as the price. Suddenly, Lin En caught a whiff of perfume. He snapped his eyes open. Flashed in his mind, the blood-clothed spirit had somehow managed to get right up to him, leaning across the table. Their noses were practically touching. Her lips parted slightly, and a heady scent wafted towards his face. Her eyes were dark and alluring. Then, she whispered, How much do you think I'm worth? Chapter 45 Sister teaches you how to fight. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Lin. She delicately stretched out her slender fingers and adjusted the strap on her shoulder, her pale skin practically glowing. A mature woman's allure can be intoxicating. Lin shot him a glare. He instinctively took a step back, trying to create some distance, but it was no use as that captivating face drew nearer. Danger. Lin En struggled to stay composed and said, Ma'am, please maintain some decorum. That the woman in blood-red robes pursed her lips and whispered, Didn't you used to call me sister? Don't you think that sounds better? Hiss. A gasp of cold air filled Lin's chest. He felt like he'd just climbed out of one hole only to fall straight into another. Lin En tried to remain calm and stated firmly. Our shop doesn't accept bodies as payment. The blood-robed woman leaned forward on the table, getting close to his ear, her breath warm and sweet as she whispered. Really? You don't want it? It's a prime piece, just freed from a curse, completely untainted. You really wouldn't want to, have some fun? She gave Lin En a coquettish look and a charming smile. Lin. Willpower-10. Willpower-10. Lin swore this woman was some kind of enchantress, skilled at bewitching hearts. Especially the heart of a teenage boy. This was a completely unfair fight. Lin stood frozen, practically steaming, in his arms. The adorable baby he was holding looked at him with curiosity, clearly oblivious to the situation. Really, not even a little taste? The woman continued her seduction. Lin En said stiffly, your baby is right here. The woman's lips curled slightly as she breathed into his ear and whispered. Then let's go to my room. Thump, thump, thump. Lin could hear his heart pounding in his chest. After all, as a teenager transported to this mysterious world, this level of temptation was almost unbearable, and there was no system warning about any danger. Which meant, there wasn't any real danger, but the absence of danger made it even harder to remain calm and rational. And, this was being offered as payment. Finally, Lin En gave in, closing his eyes and saying hollowly, as if resigned to his fate. I don't know how. The woman was stunned. Huh? He doesn't know how. What exactly was he referring to? Could it be that this smooth-talking, handsome kid had never been with a girl before? Because if he were a normal guy, he'd be the type who could easily trick girls. The woman looked at him with a strange expression and said, You've never been intimate with a girl. Lin kept his eyes closed and didn't answer. Not even kissed. Lin kept his eyes closed, his temples throbbing. Surely you know how to hold hands, right? Lines of irritation appeared on Lin's forehead, and he ground his teeth. Bite. You feel incredibly insulted. Seeing Lin En's embarrassed and stifled expression, the woman's strange smile widened, and her eyes lit up as if the big bad wolf had just spotted a cute little white rabbit. So that's how it is. She gently licked the corner of her mouth and chuckled into Lin's ear. Then I'll teach you, step by step. Lin. Separation line. Bite. Congratulations, host, for unlocking the achievement, wonderful first experience. 1. Host has gained 200 basic experience. Wonderful first experience. 1. A staged achievement. The host has successfully taken the first green and solid first step from a boy to a man. The host gains permanent additions, physical fitness +1, endurance +1, stamina +1. Bite. The woman's favor towards you has increased by +50. Bite. The woman's attitude toward you has changed from indifferent to favorable. You have gained 400 basic experience. Lin. Hoo-hoo. The soul lamp by the door flickered, signaling the dawn of a new day. Lin buttoned up his shirt, maintaining a calm expression, but his tightly closed eyes betrayed his inner turmoil. Really, he couldn't resist. As for how those few hours had passed, Lin decided it was best not to dwell on it. It might be inappropriate for younger audiences. Remember to come back tomorrow night, darling. I want you to come back and be properly treated. A seductive voice reached his ears. Lin didn't even dare to look back. He was afraid that if he saw those mature, alluring eyes again, his sanity would be lost all over again. Okay, I'm heading back. Lin coughed. The voice sounded softly in his ears. If you help me get rid of the curse completely, I'll teach you some new things that will definitely be more potent than before. Lin En practically ran away. The woman's charming laughter followed him. Watching Lin En's retreating figure, she crossed her arms over her chest, gracefully tossed her wavy hair, and smiled. Then, as if by magic, she pulled out a mirror, gazed at her face, and stared at it, intoxicated by the joy and excitement of being free from the curse. Ding. You have completed the task. Blood feast excellently. You have received rewards. 1,000 skull coins, 500 basic experience, special reward, Blood Demon's Cloak. Blood Demon's Cloak. Quality, rare, features, when worn, it conceals your presence and allows you to pass through solid objects like a ghost. Description: the invisible and intangible nature of evil spirits has always been a source of fear, so the monsters of the abyss created this cloak, which allows you to become like them. Invisible and intangible. But be warned, wearing it will eliminate all your offensive capabilities. Ding. You have leveled up. Please allocate your attribute points. On his way, Lin En quickly opened his attribute panel. Lin En, level, 9, race, human, strength, 31, agility, 32, intelligence, 35, constitution, 44, available points, 16. Reputation, 64, description, a twisted and perverted apprentice of the Bloodsaw Pharmacy. Beneath his innocent appearance, he spreads fear. He has caused significant psychological trauma to many customers and manipulated 2 high-level creatures into drug use. While he has a positive reputation among the root monsters, it's difficult to overlook his despicable behavior of deceiving decent women and coercing them into sex work. Lin En. Van, what a messed up description. How did I become twisted and perverted? How did I spread fear? And what's this about deceiving decent women and coercing them into sex work? I lost my virginity in a twisted way. I was seduced. And why is she being called a good woman, while I'm as innocent as a little lamb? Pan, Q. Lin En's face was dark. After venting his frustration, he followed his usual habit and allocated all the points to his constitution, although the other attributes had their advantages, but either way, endurance is the greatest asset in this dark world, and with greater physical strength, all the other aspects get boosted, so he will get stronger. He was now level 9, which meant, as soon as he hit level 10, he would meet the system's job transfer requirements. Chapter 46. He was really trying too hard. You are listening at novelfull.audio. And I wasn't sure what kind of side quests might pop up. Lin quickly grabbed the lamp and headed for the pharmacy. He still didn't want to be outside for too long. Even though he was stronger, who knew what monsters were lurking in the black mist, ready to drag you into the dark? He was still too vulnerable. But, thankfully, nothing happened on the way. He reached the store. The soul lamp cast a dim light, and there was no sign of anyone having been inside. Did something happen to my teacher? Lin hesitated, then sat at the counter and tapped his fingers. His teacher had rushed off, saying he'd be back in a couple of days, but it was the 3rd day and he still hadn't returned. Lin couldn't help but suspect something was up. Maybe he got held up. Lin kept his expression neutral. He tapped the table, deciding to explore the vision first. Yesterday's exploration was cut short by that blood-soaked evil spirit. Today, he wanted to check it out thoroughly. Enter, skull coin, 500. A wave of nausea hit him. Lin opened his eyes to the huge square and the enormous eyeballs staring down. He was back in the vision. Let's see what's going on in the channels first. Lin immediately opened the regional channel, hoping to pick up some information. Regional channel. Blood doll, queen. Queen. What's the word? Is that human apprentice worm food? Did you rip his head off and use it as a potty? Burned ghost, at queen. Spill the tea, we're dying to know. Long-haired ghost. Skeleton demon, queen, you there? Did you take care of the punk who messed with your daughter? Evil queen. Blood doll, hyped, queen, you're here. Did he get what he deserved? Evil queen, well. Shy, he, made me feel really good. Buzz, the regional channel went silent, then a tidal wave of flooded the screen. Blood doll, ah. Burned ghost, dumbfounded, what was so good? Evil queen, I was a little worked up yesterday, blushing. He's actually a really good doctor. I shouldn't have been so rude, but I'm a woman of my word. I said I'd eat him, and I did, just in a different way. Shy. Crowd. Evil queen, ahem, enough chatter. He's worn out. Omega, I'm going to take a nap. Bye, crowd. Omega. What's this little swelling and pain nonsense? And what do you mean, different way? Why do I get the feeling something weird and unspeakable happened at the Queen's place last night? Burned ghost, Omega, Queen, give us the details. What happened to that guy? Queen, skeleton demon, stunned, are you serious? Are you pulling my leg? That human boy didn't just not die, but he conquered the evil queen. Snap, Lin shut down the regional channel at lightning speed, cold sweat pouring down his face. No way, no. Freaking way. Don't jump to conclusions. That evil spirit queen is way too forward. Why does she have to say everything that comes to mind? Lin shook his head. Yeah, we fooled around a little last night, but it definitely didn't get to that point, no sir. Lin forced himself to calm down. He shut off the regional channels. He wasn't going to dwell on that craziness. Lin began to carefully explore the other functions of the vision. It might be a way to level up in the future. It would be awesome if he could open an online store. Before long, Lin had a basic grasp of the vision's core features. The more he learned, the more he wondered if the so-called Supreme Will came from the same place he did. A lot of it felt like an online game. First, 1. In the vision, all creatures could publish information to the outside world. You could charge a fee, but had to pay a cut of the skull coins as a procedure. 2. You could publish locally, to the entire vision, or to a larger area, but that required permission and a higher fee. 3. Besides the regional channel, for each square, there was also a larger, domain channel, and the biggest, the public, world channel. Yep. The words, world channel, made Lin suspect the vision's origins. It just didn't fit. 4. You could spend skull coins to register a store and ID in the vision's special field, but it cost 1 black skull coin a day. Yep. A whopping 1,000 skull coins a day. 5. Besides trading, you could take on tasks in specific fields from other creatures and get skull coins as a reward. Basically, the vision was its own independent economy. If the people involved weren't dark creatures, he'd think he'd logged into a massive online game. And 6. Was what really caught Lin's attention. In the vision, there was also a contract territory, separate from the other fields. According to the description, prayers and sacrifices from the earthly realms were collected here and transmitted to the dark world in real time. If you met the requirements, you could sign a temporary contract with a creature on Earth that would let you descend to the earthly realm through demon summoning. Completing the contract got you the earthly creature's sacrifices. If that's the case, Lin thought, could there be prayers from Earth? Could I get home that way? That was definitely exciting. 2 years away from home was a long time, especially for a kid, and in a dark world like this, anyone who said they didn't miss home would be lying, but Lin wasn't in a hurry. He had other things to do. Teleport, trading area. Lin clicked the rune on his hand, a 6-pointed star array flashed blue beneath his feet, and he vanished. Sin City high-end weapon shop, selling black washstone giant shield, suitable for humanoid creatures, price, 11 black skull coins, focus your vision to teleport. Demon machinery shop, offering limb reconstruction services, selling high-level magic cores, price negotiable, focus your vision to teleport. Cyclops slave shop, selling Violet World, Fox Girl, X1, fair skin and beautiful, mind controllable, trainable and breedable, price, 5 black skull coins, focus your vision to teleport. Chapter 47 I Love Loli. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As soon as he appeared in the trading area, Lin En saw a ton of opportunities. His mouth practically twitched with excitement because it was an absolute information overload. Like clicking on a web page and having hundreds of pop-ups hit you at once. But Lin En didn't sweat it. Once he arrived in the trading area, the runes on his wrist gave him some new tricks. Store teleport, let him zap directly to a store's location by entering its ID and name. Store creation, let him open his own store for 10,000 skull coins. Formal trading, granted him access to a high roller area for auctions and top dollar purchases. Without hesitation, Lin En clicked, store creation. He had over 30,000 skull coins, so starting his own shop in the horizon was a no-brainer. After punching in, Blood Saw Pharmacy, and wandering Soul Lane for the address, he hit submit, but the system flashed an information duplication error. Lin En paused, thinking. Could my teacher already have a store with the same name in the horizon? That it was possible. His teacher was a native dark creature who probably knew about the horizon long ago, so it made sense. Teleport. Blood saw pharmacy, that he entered the name and activated the teleport, blue light flashed, and Lin En opened his eyes in a small, private space that couldn't have been more than 500 square feet. Above the store in front of him were the words, Blood Saw Pharmacy. Lin En instantly recognized the pharmacy's iconic blood saw symbol. Yep, this was definitely his teacher's place, that blood saw logo was his signature. He looked at the empty storefront and reached out to push the door. A message in bloody letters popped up, no authorization detected, please enter the store command. Command? Lin En stroked his chin, musing, so, it needs a password. Since it's the teacher's place, he probably wouldn't mind if I went in. He decided to take a shot. He didn't know his teacher that well, but he'd picked up a few quirks. A hot muscle man. Command error, access denied. Single for 200 years. Command error, access denied. My disciple is the cutest. Command error, access denied. Lin En frowned, thought for a moment, then deadpanned, I love Loli, command correct, access successful. Clicked that the door slowly swung open. Lin En. Figures. That twisted hobby was the password, just like the safe. He stepped inside, realizing that the horizon was on a whole other level compared to virtual worlds. You could bring real items into it. That was some serious black magic tech, but the shop was pretty bare bones. The medicine selection wasn't much different from his teacher's real shop. Clearly, his teacher didn't put much stock in this Horizon store, but it made sense. At 500 skull coins per entry and exit, plus the cost of vision stones, running a store here was a losing proposition for most creatures. But it looks like he keeps up with maintenance. Lin En checked the store interface and saw 4,000 skull coins set aside for daily upkeep. Even more interesting was the store log. He scrolled through it. Day 90, sold a full set of adult wailing demon organs, earned 5 black skull coins. Day 93, sold 1 Hell Connection demon skull, earned 1 black skull coin. Day 95, rest. Day 97, sold 2 soul-devouring eyeballs, earned 2 black skull coins. Lin En's eyes widened as he skimmed the entries. The teacher really has some side hustles. That he remembered those times his teacher came back from trips with bloody sacks, disappearing into the operating room while Lin En heard the unmistakable sounds of meat being chopped. Turns out the pharmacy was just a front. His teacher's real income came from selling monster organs. Lin En took a deep breath. It showed how powerful his teacher was, considering the monsters he was selling were nasty customers by name alone. He kept scrolling, and then a recent log entry grabbed his attention. Day 105, an old friend from the Demon Association contacted me, inviting me to the Hanged Man Tower to investigate strange happenings in the association. I quit the Demon Association 10 years ago, so this visit feels off. Lin En checked the date. This entry was from 3 days ago, which probably explained his teacher's sudden departure. The Tower of the Hanged Man? The Demon Association? Lin En pondered. It seemed like some dark world organization that his teacher used to be a part of. But he didn't know much about it. His teacher wouldn't have revealed something like that to him. Lin En shook his head. If it's just an invitation from an old friend, hopefully, the teacher will be okay. Lin En closed his eyes and pushed the thoughts away. His priority was making money, getting noticed, and blowing up in popularity. With a platform as big as the horizon, he had to use his time traveler advantage to the fullest. He logged off and raced to the backyard to gather the potion-making ingredients. To make it in the horizon, he needed plenty of product that he could actually make. The crit potion, and flesh proliferation potion, formulas he got from the system were top-tier stuff. The crit potion was proven to boost combat effectiveness. He had a feeling it would be a hit in the horizon. Root-level biological tissue X1, exploding pulp X1, earth, hell clover X4, black bat wings X1, etc. He made a rough list of what he needed for the crit potion. Most of it was standard fare, but for the root-level biological tissue, he only had some tooth fragments from the headhunter left. After his last brewing session, he only had enough to make about 30 bottles. If he wanted to ramp up production, he'd need a bigger supply. But for now, it would have to do. Without another thought, Lin En set up his alchemy station and started brewing, gudu gudu, star, fire lit, pot simmering, ingredients swirling. Ding! You have refined critical strike potion X1, ding. You have refined critical strike potion X1, ding. You have refined critical strike potion X1, with each system notification, 2 hours flew by. He now had 30 bottles of brownish yellow and reddish brown potions. Chapter 48 UC Shock Body. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Lin En quickly capped the potion, smiled, and spent 500 skull coins to teleport back into view, all set. Now, the most important thing is to get this medicine out of my hands, slightly overpriced, maybe, let's try selling it for 3,000 skull coins a bottle. He figured once someone used his stuff, they'd be hooked for life, so, next up, promotion. Without hesitation, Lin tapped the rune on his wrist and started crafting an ad, Bloodsaw Potion Shop, new stock of ultra-powerful crit potions. Massive attack boost in every bottle, only 3,000 skull coins. Limited to 30 bottles, unbeatable value. Get yours now. Unique recipe, no imitations. Buy. Click, skull coin -1,000, ad deployed. Lin En grinned and quickly switched to the trading channel, practically buzzing with anticipation. Looking at his post, Lin En had a hunch he'd be swimming in customers any minute now. Half an hour later, Lin En sat behind the counter, eyes closed, a smirk playing on his lips, glancing at the empty store. This is fine, maybe the ad hasn't kicked in yet. It's only been half an hour. Any minute now, people will be beating down the door. I could drop another 1,000 skull coins on promotion. 2 hours later, Lin frowned, arms crossed, pacing back and forth in front of the store. Why is no one showing up? I've refreshed the page like crazy, someone should have clicked by now. Alright, relax. Rome wasn't built in a day. Customers will come, that's right. Let's go. 3 hours later, Lin slumped against the counter, covered in metaphorical cobwebs, a vacant expression on his face. He'd blown through a whole 5,000 skull coins, boosting the ad 5 times in a row. Could it be that no one was interested enough to click? The money was just vanishing. Snap, Lin En slammed his hand on the table. You asked for this. I didn't want to go there, but you leave me no choice. Lin gritted his teeth, pulled up the ad interface, and furiously typed, shocking. The secret to getting huge. Top Witcher reveals his love for Macho brand crit potion, makes succubi blush and the queen beg for more. 1 bottle explodes your clothes. 2 bottles take you to heaven. 3 bottles turn you into a bulldozer. Wanna be a real man? Click here, Bloodsaw Pharmacy Shop. Snap, promote. Still not getting any bites. Damn it. Lin En, cranked up his typing speed and flooded the trading channel with a dozen anonymous messages at 100 skull coins apiece. OMG. This crit potion from Bloodsaw Potion Shop is insane. Just 1 swig and things got intense. No way. We can't just share this treasure level potion shop willy-nilly. And only 3,000 skull coins a bottle. What if someone buys them all? Stop talking about it. You wanna drive the price up? $% hashtag just quietly become stronger and more powerful. Isn't that better? Is this potion really that good? Nah. It's terrible. Only doubles your combat power and guarantees a critical hit every time you attack. Totally useless. But, does it really explode your clothes? Not just clothes. Anything that should explode and anything that shouldn't. This potion blows it all up for you. Why else would it be called a crit potion? Snap, Lin En slammed down his hands, his fingers aching from 17 years of practice. After that barrage, the trading channel fell silent, figurative tumbleweeds rolled past Lin's head, but then, everything changed. A blinding swarm of teleportation beams appeared outside the shop, and Lin En's ears were filled with notification chimes. Dark Giant Libold requests entry. Fallen Tauren requests entry. Succubus Alea requests entry. Multi-armed Demon requests entry. Without a second thought, Lin accepted them all, and in an instant, the place was flooded with a horde of creatures. The shop was packed tighter than a can of sardines, a dozen entities crammed into every square inch. Every single one of them had eyes shining with excitement. Boss! Is everything in that ad for real? Do you really sell that kind of potion? Is there really a potion that can make you super powerful and make my queen scream my name? I want 10 bottles of crit potion. Now. Boss. Top Witcher approved. Gimme 50 bottles, boss. Gotta test the hype. Get out of the way. I was here first. Boss. Give me one. Asterisk van asterisk, how dare you cut in front of me? I was first. Boss, I'll take the whole stock. Ah. Does the boss take alternate payment? I'm a very talented succubus. In seconds, the formerly deserted pharmacy was overrun by every degenerate in the underworld. Lin, welp, guess it's the same everywhere. Gotta go sleazy to get some business. Still, it's nice to know these folks are just genuinely excited and not jaded like people back home. This is a bit overwhelming. Lin En said, feigning embarrassment. Look, the potion's legit, but I'm just a small shop, okay? I don't have a ton of inventory. I only have 30 bottles of the crit potion, and 10 of those are already reserved for regulars. This is tough for me. Lin played the part of a man in a bind. Seeing Lin En's distress, the customers went wild. Asterisk van asterisk, damn it. Boss, don't be like that. I'll pay 4,000 skull coins a bottle. Just hook me up. If you're feeling awkward, I'll throw in 500 extra coins per bottle. I got money to burn. The hell? Hashtag, you think you're the only one with cash. Boss. I'll pay 5,000. Gimme all 30 now. If it's as good as they say, I'll be back for more. 5,000. You wanna start a war? I'll pay 6,000. 7,000. 7,500. The situation was getting out of hand. Lin En quickly held up a hand. Hold on. The potion's great, yeah, but let's all shop responsibly. Don't just blow your money. It's hard to come by, you know. Just pay over there, send the coins directly. Chapter 49, Bald 2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Asterisk ding. You earned 10,000 skull coins, star. Asterisk ding. You earned 10,000 skull coins, star. Asterisk ding. You triggered the achievement, all potions are basically black, and you gained 500 basic experience, star. All potions are basically black, special achievement obtained by selling the same potion with a one-time profit of over 300,000 skull coins. Permanent bonuses. Potion sales income increases by 1%, intelligence +1, eloquence +1. Inside the shop, Lin sat quietly in a pile of money, counting the skull coins one by one. Okay, my conscience is killing me, but I swear I haven't ripped anyone off. If it doubles combat effectiveness, then it definitely boosts everything exponentially. Blood Saw Pharmacy's reputation is golden. If you're losing your hair, I'll whip up another batch of hair growth meds tomorrow. Cheap prices, guaranteed. T to the power of T. Meanwhile, on a plain in the dark world, fully armed dark elves stood in formation, staring intently at the black mist ahead. Their leader, spear in hand, looked grim, ready for a fight. This was the 5th day their elf royal court had held off the abyssal insect swarm, and the most critical moment. If their line could withstand this ferocious counterattack, reinforcements would arrive. Faint roars echoed from the darkness. Scarlet eyes flashed in the shadows. Any sign of those supplies? The elf captain snapped, turning to his second-in-command. Their situation was critical. All supply routes were cut, leaving only event horizon transmission as an option. But their vision stones were almost gone. If they couldn't hold this attack, their entire defense would collapse tomorrow. Captain. A dark elf sprinted over, panting. We made contact with the royal court via vision. They've rushed some supplies to us. But Vision's bandwidth is limited. The first batch is just over 100 bottles of combat potions they managed to scrounge up. Let's hope it's enough. He set the box down. Inside were rows of compound potions, neatly arranged. Half are emergency healing potions, 2/3 are strength boosters, and the rest are a few bottles of advanced combat potions the supply staff got their hands on. He grabbed a bottle of piss-yellow liquid and handed it to the captain. Here, the captain frowned, taking the potion. He eyed the murky, unsettling fluid. What is this stuff? Smells like urine. The elf replied gravely, the supply lines are stretched thin. The royal court is scraping the bottom of the barrel. These new potions are a mixed bag, but they say this one can nearly double combat effectiveness. Super potent stuff, double. The surrounding elves gasped. Potions that could boost combat power so dramatically were rare and expensive. Anything that more than doubled it was an ace in the hole. Of course, the side effects were usually nasty. Some could leave you weakened for days. Still, this potion could be a game changer. Any side effects? Situations too critical to know. How many bottles of this stuff did we get? 5. The elf captain said solemnly, distribute the potion. If it really doubles combat power, I can take down that aberration, guaranteed. Eliminating the insect mother would relieve the pressure on their entire line. Suddenly, sharp roars erupted from the darkness, the black mist surged, and countless reptilian horrors erupted from the ground, their mouths clicking hideously. In the distance, the massive insect mother emerged. Here they come. The elf captain roared. Prepare for defense. The insect swarm crashed against them like a tidal wave. The captain charged into the fray, spear ripping through the reptiles. His eyes locked on the aberration controlling the swarm. He'd been waiting for this. If the potion doubled his combat power, he'd shred that bug and save the day. Snap. He uncorked the bottle, gritted his teeth, and chugged the potion in one gulp. Immediately, an indescribable heat surged from his stomach throughout his body, his pupils dilated. The power. His strength was exploding. His blood felt like it was boiling. The potion was a catalyst, amplifying his power instantly. He threw back his head and roared, his armor ripped apart. The fighting elves stared in shock as their captain's muscles bulged, throbbing like stone. Captain. They were stunned and elated. They could feel the captain's aura surging. Then, another explosion, their captain's long black hair disintegrated, revealing his shiny bald head. Ding. A brilliant flash of light bounced off his forehead, blinding everyone, all elves. Omega. Damn. That's bright. His hair exploded too. Almost simultaneously. Boom. Boom. More explosions echoed in the distance. The elves whirled around to see 4 other potion-fueled elves looking just like their captain. Their clothes exploded. Their muscles rippled. Their hair detonated. 5 bald heads flashed under the dark sky, leaving them the most beautiful baldies on the battlefield. They're all bald. Omega. Chapter 50. You don't want to drug me out, do you? You are listening at novelfull.audio. The elves were stunned, they were bald, and suddenly, incredibly strong. Could this be a side effect of that superpowered potion? With newfound might surging through them, the captain roared, spear raised, and pointed towards the aberration deep within the swarm. Prepare to charge. The elves watched in disbelief as the 5 juiced-up elves raised their weapons and charged the aberration with the speed and ferocity of prehistoric beasts. They plowed through the swarm like a hot knife through butter. Holy crap, they're strong. The captain and the others are freaking powerhouses now. What kind of potion is this? How can it boost their combat power this much, this fast? But captain. At least put on some armor. Don't go in there naked. Omega. Captain. They watched in stunned silence as the 5 bald, bare-ass behemoths, radiating raw power, bulldozed their way into the heart of the insect swarm like gods of war. Meanwhile, all over the dark world, similar displays of bald, bare-ass dominance were occurring. Breaking news: Sin City's Blood Demon Clan 10-year-old goes bald, gains insane strength, and defeats 15 tentacle demons in the trial with his bare butt, shattering the Blood Clan's century-old record. Breaking news: Unicorn Ghost Clan fleet, stranded in the Silent Sea, rescued after a certain first mate's bald head began emitting high-frequency flashes, acting as a beacon. Breaking news: Werewolf in Sin City, besieged by Blood Clan, transforms and rips clothes, suddenly goes bald, experiences power surge, and escapes bare-assed, after taking down over a dozen vampires. Pharmacy. Ding. Popularity in the City of Sin +10, ding. Popularity in the Dark Elf King's Court +5, ding. Popularity among succubi +10. For the past few hours, Lin En, busy preparing the flesh growth potion, had been bombarded with these notifications. Clearly, these popularity boosts stemmed from the 30 bottles of critical potion he'd sold earlier, but Lin En ignored them, focused intently on a large pot of bubbling red liquid. Glug, bubbles rose to the surface. Add blood demon meat x1. 1 liter of compound slime mucus. 1 tail of demon gecko. Dark bat guano x1 gram. Stir thoroughly, then add a pinch of headhunter's dental calculus. Donning a mask, Lin En meticulously followed the flesh growth potion formula, **** ding. Alchemy experience +1, **** ding. Alchemy experience +1, **** ding. You have mastered intermediate alchemy, gaining intelligence +1, basic experience +200, the system notifications kept rolling in. After a solid half hour, Lin En carefully bottled his freshly brewed potions. Done. He smiled, wiping sweat from his brow. This was one of the 2 formulas rewarded by the system. Unlike the critical potion, the flesh and blood hyperplasia potion was a healing potion. As the name suggested, it accelerated flesh regeneration and injury recovery. **** Flesh and blood hyperplasia potion, a top-tier potion that rapidly heals external injuries and regenerates lost limbs. Side effects may occur. He ended up with 17 bottles, not because he didn't want to make more, but because the critical ingredient, root-level monster tissue, was all used up. That kind of material was hard to come by. Back in the front, Lin En arranged the potions neatly on the counter, closed his eyes, and waited for customers. After the critical potion experience, he was curious about the side effects of this one. Hopefully, nothing too weird. Now, just gotta wait for a guinea pig. Knock, knock, knock. A knock on the door. Lin En straightened up, plastered on his most professional smile, and announced. Welcome to Bloodsaw Pharmacy. We're here to help. Outside, a fairy with a pair of pure black moth wings landed gently, barely 50 centimeters tall. She was clad in black knight armor, sporting a somewhat exaggerated chest and a miniature long sword on her left hip. But the right side of her body was a bloody mess, her arms seemingly torn off, raw flesh and blood. Click, the fairy reached up with a tiny hand and flipped up her visor, revealing dark eyes. She declared in a serious voice. I need surgery, pronto. Her vital stats appeared before Lin En, **** black moth fairy, **** level, 88, **** age, 99, **** race, fairy, **** alignment, chaotic good, **** combat ability, small, nimble, and surprisingly durable, **** profile. Goblins originated on Earth, but some were exiled to the dark world long ago and evolved into dark goblins adapted to their environment. Excellent mobility and night vision. Combat skills are weak, relative to similar level races, so they are often kept as pets. Lin En was floored, first time he'd ever seen one of these, **** ding. New quest, reattach a broken arm. Rewards, skeleton coins, 200, basic experience, 200, special reward x1. Please, come in. Lin En flashed a welcoming smile, his eyes zeroed in on the fairy's mangled arm. with a flutter of wings, the black moth fairy zipped to the chair in front of the counter. But, being so short, even standing on the chair, she could barely see over the counter. A monster ate my arm, that she pointed at the bloody stump, flipped up her visor again, and stared at him with intense, black eyes. I need treatment or I'll die. I finally found a pharmacy. Can you fix me? I'm confused and have a feeling you can easily deceive me. Lin En's smile widened, he adjusted his monocle and replied reassuringly. Relax. Bloodsaw Pharmacy is the best for miles around Wandering Soul Alley. We've got a stellar reputation. A missing arm is nothing. We can fix you up even if you were burnt to ashes. That the black moth fairy narrowed her eyes at him. Seriously? Although I really want to believe you. Why do I feel like there are some evil factors hidden in this seemingly kind smile? Are you going to drug me, tie me up, and hide me in the attic to do bad things to me, right? She asked directly. The blunt question caught Lin En off guard. Was this a racial trait? Who asks that right up front? Even if someone was thinking it, they sure as hell wouldn't admit it. No. Lin En answered truthfully. Good. The black moth fairy visibly relaxed, sighing in relief behind her mask, ************************************************ The black moth fairy's favorability towards you is +10. Lin